Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Timberborn, episode 14 in our Emberpelts series, as we stare out into the vast wilderness that we've created. It's still wild, though, because look at all the trees, and there's some berries. Today, we are going to get started on the next district. We're just going to go gangbusters here and get moving. They have a little bit of berries. They have a little bit of water. That's basically all the district ever starts out with anyway. We're going to quickly get in some things to get a basic district going today. We are not going to bring anything over from this district, probably. I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. We might do power since we have such a surplus over here. That's an option. We might share power between the two, but my plan right now is that's it. That each district is going to stand on its own. Obviously, this district will be fine. Aside from lacking a few workers, they're doing fine, and I'm not really worried about them lacking a few workers because that should be coming out on one of these right here. And well, we're not lacking workers anymore, so we are still lacking. That's the two for good. So yeah, we've got low priority on our builders and on our district. We could even go low priority on these if we really wanted to, because they're not that big of a deal. We don't fire them off all that often. In fact, let's do that. Let's go ahead and make these low priority, and then these the absolute lowest. I know I could do this through other means, but this works just as fine. Cool. So let's bring over, what is it? I know I start with like 12 beavers with like some babies, but I don't really have any babies to send over. So I think we're just going to send just 12 over, which is why I wanted to make sure we had everything adjusted there. So we want to go from here to here. So we want to come up here and say, give me 10, and we'll take that baby. And there we go. That gives me 12 adults and a baby in this district. They are now making their way over, and let's get started. I was going to say I'm going to slow things down, but there's nothing to slow down because it's already going slow. So I want to begin getting trees and logs from way over here. This lumberjack flag covers almost all of that. So that will be good. And then I also want to get, so that they can continue gathering berries, that in there. But I would like them to cut down these oaks and get them out of the way. And then we're going to replant forestry over there once we're ready to do so. The nice thing is we're not going to have to worry about research points and all of that because, well, we already have everything unlocked. So it'll be fine. So, cool. This dude's saying I have nothing to do, and that's absolutely true, friend Beaver. You have nothing to do. We're going to give you something to do, though. You're going to cut down... Whoops, that's the wrong one. You're going to cut down all of these trees. And then we will quickly get some planks on the go so that we can get a forestry hut over here. A forestry hut. Wow. Sounds like I've been playing Banished. But yeah, so we can get forestry going, or a forester going, and start replanting trees so they don't run out of logs on this side. And we're just going to mark all of this as for cutting. There we go. And this section too, right there. Cool. That should get us a nice little start. And should get us some logs that we can use for other purposes, which is going to be, I think, probably, until we get a lot of these trees cleared out, it's going to be difficult to do farming. So maybe we should actually pause this one and just come over here and chop these down. Not that we're going to use those logs that quick, but what we could do maybe... That takes planks. That one takes just logs and only holds 180. For now, we will drop in a couple of these. They will get replaced in short order, I'm sure. But for now, they will have a place to go. So our workers are going to get started on that, and then I want to get started. You know, I hate to go planks this early since we don't have, you know, like food or water. So let's do water. Let's do just a regular water pump here. That kind of fits right there nicely, doesn't it? Yes. Except we need to wait for morning for any of this to get built. So let's just skip to morning real quick. And morning is upon us. Beavers are beginning to scurry about, so I am going to resume planning things that I want to build. And I think, you know what, we'll go ahead and do housing, but our double lodges require planks, plus we'd have to have a way to get them up to it. I mean, we could just use regular lodges, but I'd like to go ahead and start with bigger lodges just to do it. So I think we're gonna let them go a couple days without some housing. So what I'm going to do is bring in water wheels to go all the way across there. That way we have ample power. We can't build this yet, this yet because we don't have planks yet, but we may replace it like really quick, or we could just do 2 of these. This will make, every 1.3 hours it'll make 1, whereas this is every 0.63 hours it makes 1. So basically 2 of these would do about the same, but at 25 more HP. So we may just get a few planks in place, have them be here, be used, all that good stuff, and then quickly replace this with the bigger one, because I think we'll wind up making more than enough power. Right now, our thing is getting all of this built out. So let's find a nice little vantage spot here and watch them get just these few buildings built. And in fact, I'm gonna help them along since we don't have all of our beavers doing things in this district right now. We will add a couple more builders. There we go. They got the lumber mill in, so we are now making planks in this district. We have 4 beavers that still aren't working, and I think what I want to do is add 1 more lumberjack flag just to try to get these oaks out of here as quickly as possible, because we are going to need to get them out of the way. This is going to be farmland and all of that good stuff. My goal, by the way, let's talk about, well, you know, while they're just kind of waiting and getting some planks going, my goal is to maintain this corridor here with sight lines. So eventually all the housing will be back here for this district. I'm not going to do that yet because we will be removing this river channel right here, and it will do the same thing as what we have going here. This will continue on back that way, as will this, wherever in the world it is. It will continue back that way and then come back down right here in a channel. And I'm thinking if we build the housing like just over the water on platforms, that would be fine. So that's kind of the goal. I don't want to kill this district's sight lines because this is going to be a big district. My plan over here is big and vertical. Still within just like this area of 3. We may go further over, but we know we're going to have a water channel here. And just go up vertical. We're going to remove a lot of this hill out of our way, except for obviously where our iron mine is, steel mine is, scrap mine is, whatever, because that has to stay. There's nowhere for that to go. So that little area will remain elevated up there, and it'll probably look kind of funky, but that's okay. We'll try to work it into everything else that we're doing with this new district. Though they're going to get their underground ruined mine over here eventually. So they're not going to be tapping into this one. This one is going to remain for this district. So we're looking good. We're starting to get some trees cut down and get them out of the way. We have a few planks, I believe. I want to... There. If I do that and then I hit escape, it will always go back on it. Yeah. So if I just bring that down and leave it down, that way I can just do that. By the way, this district needs a name. If you have a suggestion for a name for the district, please drop it into the comments. I would love to take your feedback on that, and maybe we can get a good name for this district. So, Triple Lodge requires something we don't have. Bricks. We can make bricks. Wouldn't be that hard, I don't think. What does this need? Clay pit just needs planks and logs, and then the kiln just needs the dirt, or the clay that comes out of there. So we could start making bricks pretty early, but food, I think, is going to be more important, and housing is probably going to be more important. So I think for now, we will just do the double lodge, and I'm going to bring them out. Can't see where the path is. There it is. I'm going to bring them right here. That'll give us room for 18, and then to get them up there, because it is going to complain that they're not connected, we are going to just come across. We don't have metal in this district, so we can't do these just yet. We're just going to bring that across there, and then we're going to go here and right here and bring up a set of stairs. Remember, everything that we're doing in this district right now, completely temporary. And so that gives me an opportunity to also add in even more log storage. And I want to do that, one, so that we have a lot of logs on hand, but two, so that they have a place to put all of this when they cut it down. That is the main goal. Are you really 13 down? Wow. They'll eventually get it filled up. They got 18 babies over there. These guys, on the other hand, doing fantastic, and they just need to get these platforms and these stairs in. I don't think that's going to happen today, however. It looks like that's going to be a tomorrow thing. And we may as well give them a few well-being items while we're at it, since they can be built. Not a contemplation spot. We want to go basics here. There we go. Let's get just one little hospital bed in, medical bed, and then let's bring in one of our teeth grinders, and then, you know what, we'll throw in, so this gives them their basic needs of fire, but so will that. So let's go for the scratcher and get them happy that way. So let's get this little section built out here. It shouldn't take too terribly long. And we just did a jump cut there because I failed to take into account how many planks I had used to build the houses, which was 24, and that was about all we had. So it took a while, 3 days in fact, to get all of this stuff done. But it's done now, so we're good. I wish there was a way to see this district's resources without having to have a building highlighted. That would be very nice. To just have it be permanently highlighted. So we've got them shelter, we have water, we have planks, though not many, and we have a bad tide coming tomorrow, which, while we don't have to worry about bad water coming through here, that will mean they won't have any power. So they will just be cutting down trees. So to that end, I'm gonna throw in just a bunch more woodcutters. We have 4 beavers currently not doing anything in this district, so we may as well have them work during the bad tide to get logs, because we're not going to be able to do anything over here until we get more planks. We only have 4 right now, and, well, we're not going to get any more until after the bad tide. So let's just jump to after the bad tide is wrapped up. Actually, I'm going to go a day past that. That way they have a chance to start getting some more planks made. And as dawn begins on our second day after the bad tide, it was only 1 day bad tide, I have removed tree cutting from here and from over here. I'd really like to focus them in right here so that I can get this cleared out and start thinking about farmhouses. We will need this land for crops eventually, but at least we can get started with like here and some of this one. And that will be Better than nothing. So to that end, I think I might go ahead and build said farmhouses. That one can't go there, but it can go there, so that'll be fine. And then that'll get us good coverage this direction. Not the best, but enough. So we'll do one there. And then I'm thinking what I want to do is maybe relocate our water tank to be not so much in the way. Where could it go? We could move it across just a little bit and it would be fine. So let's do that. What does that take? Ooh, that takes a lot of planks though. Oh well. I need it to move. So we could put it like right here. I'm gonna run a path in now. Right along there. They will eventually get this all cleared out. That dude's like, I don't have anywhere to go. And then I'm going to set this one to empty for now. They'll still be able to drink from it. They just won't be able to use it for anything. And then we'll probably go with a very basic crop of like radishes to start with. I think that would be fine. Though, what can they eat? Raw foods. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go here. So apples, we could maybe do apples. Radishes, tomatoes they can eat. And then everything else has to be processed. So we may do radishes and tomatoes for our first bit. And then once we get a forester on this side, we will start thinking about some other crops. But yeah, this is working getting these trees cut down. We still have a few stragglers that we may just have to clear out on our own. And then of course we also have a few berries in the way that I'm not going to take out just yet. I do want to make sure we don't run short on food. Where is the gatherer? He can reach all of that. I may relocate the gatherer because we're going to need that area for crops. So we are going to do that and prioritize it so that I can, oh, it is prioritized because they can't build anything else right now. And then we'll get rid of this one and just swap that over. And of course they're saying, hey, we don't have anywhere, we don't have enough workers, and that's okay. What we'll do is make sure this is prioritized above everything else, as well as this, just for now. That way we're okay not having anybody here. So this section is basically done. I would like to get those berries out of there, but we could also start planting crops. So we will do that in the morning. This still needs 3 planks, of which we have 1, so that's going to take a minute. So I want to get this all cleared out here so that we can start working a little bit more towards the goal of cleaning this all out to be productive farmland. So we can stop cutting trees here, and then I guess we will go ahead and mark all this for demolition right here. We're taking out a couple baby trees. We'll even take out a baby bush. I like the gatherer to get these berries, but there's no way to prioritize it. He's just gonna go get what he's gonna go get, and we don't really get a say in that. So maybe we'll get lucky and they'll come over here and do that. But we should have this built in just a moment. So let's get this area clear and get some crops planted, which I guess I could have just done. It would have just overwritten them, wouldn't it? Maybe. And now because I marked it for clearing, they're immediately coming back in behind and clearing it out. I love it. It's fine. It'll be okay. I promise. Actually, no, they're not. It must have been the baby trees that left a clearing. So that will get us a nice little start there. I can connect the path here. And we may as well get rid of these berries and this dude as well, since now we are going to have a food source. Though it will take a few days to grow in, but we'll be alright. I'm pretty sure we'll be okay. So they are working on, oh, this needs to be marked as water so they can transfer that over. And then we have room for some radishes right here. And then I think we'll do the same thing here. We'll get rid of this lumberjack flag, and then we will clear this whole area. We'll also get rid of that lumberjack flag, and we'll clear that whole thing out of there, and then plant some more radishes back here. Yeah, so see, it says they're gonna, like, yeah, when they clear it, it stays as the crop that I marked it. Okay, I was a little worried that maybe it cleared that crop, but it does not. So cool, that will get them started toward all of that. This is now empty. It is now empty. So cool, we can get this other farmhouse connected and going. And then let's start trying to clear up some of this debris as well. That way they can get that stuff back into storage where it will be useful. There they go. And there should be storage for all of this, yeah? Yeah, none of our log storage is okay. Most of our log storage is full. That's surprising. Not really, but okay. So we need a medium warehouse over here for our radishes. And those are down here somewhere. There they are. Yep, that's radish. Cool. So that will get built. That'll also take up some of the logs. I just want to be able to keep the lumberjacks moving. I want them able to continue cutting trees. I don't want there to be a reason that they stop. So to that end, why aren't they building that? There they go. I would say that should take priority over this stuff. To that end, we may add in even more storage here. The next biggest one up is large industrial pile. We can't do this one yet because we don't have bricks and gears. But that has its connection up a little higher, so we would have to do this. And then we get up there. And then that'll give us a bit more log storage space. So cool, they got this cleared out so we can plant radishes here. Like so. And then this dude's gonna do tomatoes eventually, but we still have quite a few trees that need to be taken down, including over here, because this is a, I don't want to move into this space because I'm going to save it for whatever's going to be connected to power, which we could probably do some gears. How are we doing on the number of beavers we have, though? We have one job empty. We have 15 adults, 3 babies, and no more empty housing. The nice thing about this housing, though, is its ability to just stack and not need a connection. So we're gonna, yeah, let's just go ahead and get this doubled. I think we'll be all right now that we're making food. I don't know, that could be a fatal mistake that I just made, but I really do think we'll be okay. And we won't have anything to worry about. So cool. Let's get this little section built out real fast. Yeah, fast is definitely not the descriptor here because I once again failed to take into account just exactly how many planks we're using. 60. We burned through them all. So what I want to think about real quick is, as a hiccup, is we have apple juice, beet and radish juice, corn juice, and tomato juice. Good, that's what I thought with the tomatoes. So we and then there's also like grilled tomatoes, isn't there? Isn't that a thing? Or am I just imagining things? I think I'm imagining things. Apples, yeah, I'm imagining things. It's grilled corn. Okay, that's fine. We'll be able to make some tomato juice eventually. I think that the press requires gears, which we don't have. I will plonk down one of our gear factories, though it's, you know, a gear workshop. It obviously not going to have it anytime soon. And then we will throw in a press as well that we're also not going to have anytime soon. What does that even require? I know we just looked at it, but I don't remember. Yeah, gears. Okay, I want to make sure it didn't require clay and all that good stuff. So you will eventually make tomato juice, and that means we're going to need a place over here to store tomatoes. And we will put that just like right across. Once I find medium warehouse, there we go. We'll put that there, and then we will do, even though it's going to take a lot of planks, we're going to do this for the juice. So tomato juice and tomatoes. Obviously, we don't have tomatoes yet, but we're about to resolve that right now by coming in and clearing all of this out of here, and then getting rid of the 2 lumberjacks here. And I'm going to replace that with 2 lumberjacks here, and then have them pick that up. Though I think we're full on lumber right now. That one's not quite full. I can't reach this one yet because they're still waiting on planks there. But tomatoes, at least they can get built, and they'll be able to build that, and they'll be able to clear all of this out. And as much as I don't really want to, we might have to clear these trees and have them just be a loss. We can replant them. I just realized there's not a lumberjack over here on this end. Oh no, there is. This guy's a lumber. I thought he was a gatherer. Gatherer's over there. That's fine. We'll add another one. We do have... Oh, we still have 4 unemployed beavers over here? Okay, never mind. I would say we're having a shortage, but we don't. We're fine. We're just fine, in fact. But that won't be the case once these get built, but the houses will get built first. But not anytime soon, because the priority is going to be these guys, because I built that first, and then these were built, and then they'll come over here, and then they'll come over here. So yeah, there's a lot to do and not a lot of things to do it with, but as soon as they get all this cleared out, we can at least get some tomatoes planted. And they'll be able to start eating the tomatoes once they grow. I'm not sure how far this direction I can go. I'm going to plant them and see what they get away with. Like, I don't think we're going to get any right there at all. But we might. So I'll give it a shot. So they got that one cut down. Oh yeah, this was cut down by a lumberjack, not by a worker. So it is still occupied. That one's there. So cool, we're on our way towards getting a nice functioning district. They've already got quite a few radishes, well more than they have berries now. So we're looking good. So let's get this cleared out and get some more tomatoes planted. And I just realized I haven't instructed them to cut any trees. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Yes. So we'll go over there, and then we'll come right here and hopefully get some of those trees out of here. There they go. And then we should see some farmers planting some more tomatoes. So it's only these right here in the middle. I'm kind of surprised by that. I really thought that these wouldn't get planted either, but we're good. We're looking pretty doggone good. We have this connected now so that they can continue cutting down these trees. So maybe I just kind of let this run for a little bit. Let them cut down some trees, finish building out all of this stuff, and then we pick up from there and start looking at getting a forester in over to this side of the map. Maybe a little bit more power. That might not be a bad idea. So that's 200. This takes 50. This takes 50? Question mark. No, 120. So that's 170. And then another 50. So 220. Yeah, we're not going to be making enough power. A little unfortunate, but an easy problem to solve for is by spamming down a bunch more wheels. They won't be able to reach these middle two. And as much as I know they hate getting wet, I don't really have the planks to spare at the moment. So I'm going to send them down in the water. And it will just be tragic that we have wet beavers. I don't know. Is that tragic? Maybe not. But we're going to get this all built out and then pick up from there. And several days have passed. They've gotten most of these trees down, as well as over here. There's just a few babies that are seedlings that are waiting to grow up. They'll get to them. We are going to, you can see I also got rid of the juicer for now. added a few extra plank lumber mill guys, but we're gonna get rid of all this. Whoops, not that path though. You saw nothing. Prioritize the cleanup here. Don't know that it's gonna do any good to prioritize that cleanup, but we'll prioritize it anyway. And then we're gonna replace what we had with one large of each here. And of course that leaves a little gap, but I have a plan for said little gap. In the middle, we're going to do our medical beds because these are the buildings that beavers tend to get injured in. And then we'll look at some decorations. Anything that I can build. That only takes logs and planks, so we may do those, but not yet. Because I then want to come in with 2 presses, not just one. And run those in right here. This one is going to be for apple juice, and this one's going to be for tomato juice. And they should have everything they need to get all of this built. Yeah, they do. These, not so much, but if we make sure that these are at a lower priority, they shouldn't take the gears or the planks. They'll get logged right away, but this guy already has all of his planks. He just needs some more logs, and this one is waiting for everything. So we're gonna get this built and then get the juice presses in, and maybe look at just one forester that has, yeah, that's about perfect right there. If I go here, that doesn't cover everything, but like right there is pretty doggone good. If I go here, that gets it too and gets me more to the other side. Yes, so we're gonna go, yeah, there doesn't do it, sadly. It's gonna have to go right there. And then I'm gonna have them just clear all of this. Just clear it out. And then we will mark this back here for cutting. Unmark this and get rid of any lumberjacks that are over here. Lumberjacks, what you call it? Yep. Why can't I remember that? I don't know. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna clear all of this for now and get rid of that lumberjack, and then we're gonna bring this one back online. And then this dude will be able to come over here and plant some new oaks for us, so that we're not just completely ignoring forestry. And then as more trees get cut down over here, we'll be good to go. Who is planted? Where did you come from? Are you? Oh, he's from over there. Oh, it's nice of you to help out. Oh, he can replant a lot of that. That's cool. And then this is going to become an apple orchard. So I'm just going to come in and plop down a bunch of apple trees. And then as they get through all of this, good, we are now making planks again. We will very, very soon be making gears again because we do have enough planks in stock. And then these dudes take 20 of each, the planks and gears, so they'll take a little bit longer. Actually, we have all the planks, it's just the gears that we don't have. But this makes, I want to say, every hour and a half makes one, versus the other one that yeah, this one took 3 hours for one, this one only takes an hour and a half. So it will take a while to get all of that in, but they should have even enough planks left over for the forester here. So that is what we're gonna watch get built real quick, and then we will wrap up for the day. So while I wait on this to get built, I realized one oversight. I don't have anyone to gather the apples. I think this one can reach them all. It can't. That one can. Good thing there's a hole right there. So we will go with that one right there. And then we've got just a couple of little spaces to put apple trees. I must have bumped the mouse or something and deselected that. I hate this mouse. Anyway, we also don't have storage for the apples or for the apple juice. I think both of those should be a fairly simple solution. I also want to get rid of this medical bed now that we have 2 over there, and just put something decorative there eventually, or maybe just another scratcher or something to appease them. Where can we easily place storage for apples and for apple juice? That is going to be the question. I would want them to be pretty much over here, but I don't really have a good spot for those. If I move this over, yeah, it's still not going to work. I was saying, if I move the farmhouse over one, but we've been down that road. That's not the play. So where to put this all in is the question of the moment. I could easily put the apples up here. That's not a big deal, and just run this platform over. But then we've got the apple juice storage, which maybe actually moving the farmhouse over one is the play. Okay, so farmhouse goes there, and then I can get the apple juice storage right there, and behind it, done. And then we can just bring a couple more platforms over, throw a path on top of those, and then put storage for apples right there. And this will work out well. Apples, surely it's like, oh, because it's a consumable, it goes there as well. And then this will be for apple juice, and that gives them just a few more things to build. I would say we'll prioritize the farm, but there's no need to. Somehow we missed a seedling. Sorry, little baby tree, you gotta go. Don't know how we missed that seedling, but we did. So we should, question mark, be okay on, well, we don't have quite enough planks, because that takes a lot. But we will be churning quite a few out. This is well underway. This one they haven't even started on yet. So hopefully with just a couple more days work, they'll be able to get all this done, because we only need 8 more gears there, but then we need all 20 there. Every hour and a half, so we're basically making 10 a day. So yeah, that's gonna take a couple more days to get that done. But on the upside, we're making a plank every 0.63 hours, so we shouldn't have really any issue of getting all of this back here built in. So we're just gonna finish it up and then wrap up for the day. And that has everything built. I've also went in and added in, as you can see, a hauling post over there, just with 5 beavers in it for now. It'll be fine. And then a couple more of our foresters so that we can get this area over here reforested. And a couple more lumberjacks to cut down trees over this direction. We're not going to replant this after it's cut. It's cut. We're probably going to use that for something else, possibly. And then I'm just kind of watching as they get the trees out, that we're replanting them rather quickly so that we can get these oak trees growing, because currently that's it back there, and a few birch and like a few pine seedlings. I left this spot open right here so that we can do things like an iron smelter and all that good stuff. But I think we're looking pretty doggone good for this district. Their well-being is actually 17 for a brand new district. Not too shabby, of course, because we have contemplation spots and scratching posts and statues. They even have hospitals to go to if they have any problems. And they are slowly but surely, they can see the tribute of ingenuity as well. Cool. They're slowly but surely getting different food types. So they'll have apples as well as apple juice soon. Did I just like go right past apple juice? It must be just the one that's just juice then. That's sad. That's not going to give us double, but it's okay. So yeah, it's looking good. I'm really pleased with our start. Next time, we will probably start looking at clay and bricks, and maybe even climbing a hill back here to start getting that scrap taken out so that we can blast for that mountain away. But we're going to leave it here for now. And until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.